94.0 Reviving Communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello. You're listening to Revive FM. My name is Henry Scott, and I'm in the studio by myself. We do await the arrival of my wonderful co-host Tom Hutchinson, but for the meantime, I suppose I need to get straight into it. Forgive me if I look a bit pale today. I am ginger, but on another note, I have had my coronavirus vaccine, my second vaccine, which I think for those of you on the live stream, I think you'll be able to see that, yes, look, I've got 2 fill-outs of my beautiful, beautiful Pfizer card, and I feel a little bit tired, which is natural with side effects and such. But nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen, this week, what a week it has been. Labour have had further defeats in their election process. The Conservatives have had a boost. The Queen's speech will be coming out, which will set out Boris Johnson's legislative agenda for the next parliamentary year. There's plenty to get into, and we just await the arrival of my co-host. But in the meantime, I think it's probably time to get straight into it. So let's go.
On FM,
On YouTube,
Facebook,
under your bed,
in your closet,
and we're hiding in your fridge.
Henry Scott and Tom Hutchinson bring you the news
On Revive FM. That's right, it's time for the news on Revive FM. And speaking of the news, my wonderful co-host Tom Hutchinson has just arrived. Anyway, Tom, we've got lots of news to get into this week. Welcome to the studio, by the way.
Hello there. Sorry,
You're a little bit out of breath there.
You would not believe the traffic coming.
Well, do you know what?
Essex.
I've got the complete opposite from me, because when I was coming to the studio this morning, which I was going to comment on, was that. Do you know what? I thought something's weird is going on, because there was no traffic and I had a green light all the way.
Yeah.
I thought this was very, very strange. It's a weird concept to me that I rarely get, a free green light, time to just sort of relax. But I think the first thing we've got to talk about was the Queen's speech.
Yes, that happened, and I was trying to get some of the points of it. Sorry if I'm a little bit breathy, but
No, it's fine, mate.
I've got some of the details for it. So I know people are not very happy the fact that there is no social care bill or anything like that on there, which I think is a bit odd, especially with everything that. There we are. If I can find my little bits there. With everything that's gone on over the past sort of 18 months, and mental health being at the forefront, not just mental health, but just social care in general. I think they kind of missed something there, really. And I know that
because I thought there would have been some sort of bill that made that would directly contribute to the idea that the NHS needs reformation, it needs a reset, all these things, and also
there is something for the NHS, isn't there? They're doing a new sort of bill. I don't know if it's with regards to funding or just the organisation of it, but it's a bit sort of. I as I say, I think the only way I can say it is they've missed the mark again.
Yeah.
And I mean, even I was listening to a little bit of Matt Hancock this morning on Good Morning Britain, and he got absolutely roasted by Susanna and Alistair Campbell, who's standing until they find a new permanent presenter.
Is Alistair Campbell co-hosting Good Morning Britain?
He is Monday to Wednesdays because it's Mental Health Awareness Week.
That's awesome.
He's, from what I've seen, some people are doing all right. I do feel like he's trying to copy Piers a little bit. He's trying to start an argument. He's trying to just sort of.
But I mean, that
ruffle
is
some
what
feathers.
Good Morning Britain is. It's do you want to see an argument on YouTube at 3 a.m? Well, yes.
Yeah.
Then you watch
But,
Good Morning
but there's
Britain.
there's an argument and then there's a debate. That's the thing, and I feel
But
like
the problem is, Tom, is that we will try to keep on track for the Queen's speech, but the problem is that what's their goal? To sell papers. Therefore, having a debate with decent. Well thought out policy and structure is not what gets views, because it's too soft.
Yeah.
So add in a lot of anger and somebody yelling and screaming and Piers Morgan saying I identify as a penguin, and everyone goes ha ha ha.
Oh, hang on.
That's
hang on.
what
Sorry to any
pay-per-views.
penguins who were offended out there.
Yeah. Like he's
Penguins
a
are
ridiculous
people,
man. He's not done much to help.
No, he got some figures up for Good Morning Britain once they actually beat BBC Breakfast in the ratings, but that's about it. But anyway, getting back to the Queen's speech. So I've actually found the bits here. So the new laws, they're looking at a skills and post-16 education bill for England with loans for adults wanting to retrain and more powers to deal with failing colleagues. A bill aimed at dissuading asylum seekers from crossing the English Channel. So Priti Patel is coming down pretty hard on people who are trying to get into the country illegally. A bill to ease planning controls and increase house building in England, which is also going to help leaseholders for new properties. Thanks.
Yeah, domestic UK subsidy controls, which will be introduced the subsidy control bill to reflect the UK's strategic interest and to drive economic growth.
Yeah, we've also got improvement to bus and train services and general connectivity throughout the whole of England.
We've got a new police crime and sentencing and courts bill to give police in England more powers to curtail protests. Will feature, despite vociferous protests, vociferous opposition, to in the recent months.
And the one that I find quite interesting, which is what I feel is a little bit sort of Emperor Palpatine. So I'm waiting to see Boris come out in a hood one week. The new laws to scrap the Fixed Term Parliaments Act, which basically means Boris can call a general election whenever he wants.
Yes, which I think is the worst idea on the planet.
Yes,
because it will mean is that Boris will hold an election. When he's polling high. That was the problem with the old system. That's why they brought in the Fixed Term Parliament Act.
And now it's been scrapped. So he could basically stay. I mean, the general consensus is it's 2023.
Yeah, but he could call it sooner or later, depending on when he's winning or losing in the polls.
I mean, when are those renovations to the number 10 apartment being done? Because I'm thinking maybe just after that, when they're all done, he realizes there's a couple of snags that need to be done. Oh, I'm calling a general election. Why? Because the plumbing in my place is abysmal.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen. But
you can get a new £30,000 a year grant.
Exactly, but
something stupid like that.
But it's a bit of a worry, isn't it? Because the last person who kind of didn't want to let go of control was, I believe, a real person. I believe was Caligula. Well, I say Caligula. You've also got Putin, who's been the president, prime minister, governor, premier, something or other of the Socialist Republic of Russia.
There's been insider talks from a lot of the Tory newspapers, who obviously get all the leaks, that Boris is eyeing a decade in power, and I think that is possibly might just be the worst thing I've ever heard. I can't stand the man now.
It's also the worrying thing. I do have this image. If he's going to the United Kingdom will be reorganized as the first or the next British Empire. I'm telling you now, it's going to happen. He's a Dark Lord of the Sith. I'm telling you now. But it's. Yeah, see, this is the problem. I think this is where America has it quite good, that you can have a maximum of 8 years and that's it.
Yeah, whereas we theoretically have an unlimited amount of years that you can stay in office.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, Thatcher was an outlier in terms of her length in office, and she got kicked out.
Yeah, she had three terms, didn't she?
She was going to seek a third term.
I thought she got a third term.
Sorry, she did get a third term, but she was going to seek a fourth, apparently.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was it? They just wanted us to, because I was a bit too
Well, I mean, she got kicked out.
Yeah. So
she got kicked out in 1992.
Yeah, and then they brought in Mr. Heart, Life and Soul, John Major.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm going to run the country for the next 4 years.
So, yeah, he did a not bad job. He got re-elected.
Well, I suppose he did. Yeah. I mean, it's the interesting thing is, I mean, if I remember the old spitting image that he was the grey puppet because he was the most.
It was
boring.
1989. She got kicked out.
Oh, was it 89? I don't know. Oh, I always thought it was.
Yeah, it was nothing. And then John Major got into power and got re-elected in 1992. And that took him to 97.
So he didn't get a full. His first term wasn't a full term.
No. He took over from Maggie, and then he took over. Anyway, back to the Queen's speech.
Yes.
Obesity and mental health apparently are one of the two main focuses. With junk food adverts being banned pre-Watershed on TV, and there will be no more junk food adverts online.
Now that will be interesting. So how are companies like McDonald's and KFC going to get around this? Because are they going to start advertising healthier options now?
Well, the thing is, you can't with KFC and McDonald's. They don't have any healthy options to advertise.
Well, they do.
Because the thing is, I think it'll be you can't advertise your healthy products. Like we're advertising healthy products. Like, yes, but you're a fast food chain.
Yeah.
All that's going to happen is people will see your fast food products and go for that anyway.
Or I suppose the other option, I suppose you could always do is.
Sorry, my arms were just a bit sore.
Oh, you're right. They're trying to flex there.
No.
Oh, my arms are a bit sore. Bang, 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 bang. It's a gun show here. Here we go.
No, because I don't really.
Do you know it really hurts? It really hurts. Like. Right there.
All right, calm down, Tom.
So
I was still doing it because I've had my vaccine appointment.
Yeah, so we've got to talk about that later on. Mr. Yes. He's had his second COVID jab. No, I wonder if they couldn't do this. It's either they are banned pre-Watershed, or you pay an absolute fortune on top of what you would normally pay to get it done. And it goes out. I don't know. 7 o'clock in the evening or something like that. So it's kind of because I think 7 p.m. is technically, if I remember the old times, used to be the Watershed. It was sort of 7 p.m. So I'm thinking that maybe 6:30, in between the news or it goes on at a time when it's not really suitable for you. So
Yeah.
like, let's say, for example, I mean, when it was kids, you know, like CITV used to have the adverts for every toy and sweet and candy thing going, you know, available. You wouldn't put someone like doing a toy advert in the middle of ITV's news at 6:30, would you, or Channel 4 news at 7? So maybe you pay a lot extra, but you don't get put on at like an ideal time for that company. That could be another option. So then that way, some of that money could go back into the government.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I was thinking this is one that really interesting. They've got the leasehold reform bill, ground rent, which will ensure leaseholders of new long-term residential leases cannot be charged ground rent for no tangible service.
I guarantee you that I'm not going to be part of that.
No. I think you will, because realistically, what are you paying for?
Well, I think it's for.
What do you think you pay for in your new lease?
So basically, for my ground rent, I pay. It's for the upkeep of my estate. So like all the green areas, because there's like a little kids playground there. There's loads of green areas which have to be mowed and cut, and the roads.
So there's
going
a
into
gardener for the estate.
There's also, I mean, I would imagine also for sort of roads and stuff, which is funny because there's a couple of potholes already starting to form up on the little route to my house. So
Poorly built.
Yeah, so that I want to get a look at. Well, it's only 13 years old, so which is quite interesting. So, but yeah, so that's all the bits that I'm supposed to be paying for, and obviously in 2 years' time, as we've discussed, I'm going to try and buy the freehold, which is going to cost me about £10,000 if I can get it. You know, hopefully. And then I own the land that my property is on. But yeah, that's the point of it. The only drawback is that, and as people who are leaseholders know, if your ground rent is over £250, it's very difficult if you're trying to sell the property to get for a new buyer to get a mortgage. So at the moment, I'm paying, or I think mine's just gone up as I started there. Great. To about £323. So at the minute, if I was to sell my property, I've got to sell it to a cash buyer, which is nigh on impossible when it's worth about, I don't know, £360,000.
And it's impossible, you know, in the state of a country that is.
Yeah. We're technically in a recession, although I'm seeing so many people with Aston Martins and brand new Porsches and things like that. So
I think probably something that actually is going to be very interesting, the transport part of it, which wasn't mentioned much, is proposal for rail and bus links between Crewe and Manchester be taken forward. In a bid to strengthen the economic ties across the union, the government wants to invest and improve national infrastructure.
But this goes back to what we were talking about. I don't know if it was last week or the week before, but the government is now starting to sort of look more northwards. The Tories are now wanting to.
But do you know what's the problem is I hate this sort of political pandering to the people that they've realised, okay, well, listen, if we invest money into these people economically, then this is what is going to. This is what's going to get us votes.
Yeah,
I think it's almost corrupt, in my opinion. As you know, they're not. They should. I mean, you could look at it two ways. The government would say, no, we're investing in these areas because it needs to happen. But on the other hand, lots of MPs who recently got elected, they're specifically areas of their constituency have been granted lots more funds than Labour MPs in that area. So all that's going to do is encourage people
almost
it's
sort
like
of
if you vote for us,
then you'll get access
to
this
if
money.
you vote for us, we'll give you access to cash.
And
so i.e. buying voters through public infrastructure, and I think it's a quite disgusting thing.
Cash for honours almost. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah, it's like
scandal.
That's not how it's supposed to be, because it almost feels like people are being penalised for voting for the opposition. Which is totally incorrect. You know, it should be done based on needs, not on you know who's won it.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. There's been lots of complaints from Labour MPs saying a majority of their areas in the north have not received the same amount of funding as conservative blue wall or former red wall constituencies have got. So I find that very, very strange.
Well, and also, have you heard there's the new bill now to show that you have to take ID, or they're proposing to bring ID with you, because quite a few votes were actually rejected. Do you remember this?
Yes, electoral integrity bill would require identification to vote in a polling station.
But presumably, isn't that the point of why you get your voting card? Because obviously this is you are registered to vote. So
I mean, I think that it's a very undemocratic move, if you ask me, because there are some people who don't.
Some who can't vote, they can't get to a polling station. So
I mean,
that's a bit difficult.
Yeah, proof of identity when casting a ballot is frankly un-British in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, we've never done this before. That to me sounds like voter suppression. It's the kind of stuff they do in America where you have to have ID to be able to vote.
Yeah.
And what does it do? It discourages people from voting.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's going to be of assistance to the UK democracy in the slightest.
Not really. You're trying to encourage people to vote when voter turnout is so low.
As it is.
Exactly. And now you're going to penalise them for, oh, sorry, you've got to bring ID to prove who you are. I mean, I almost feel like I want to do, there was
it's going to slow down the voting process
exactly,
as well.
Yeah. I mean, I always remember there was this thing that Jim Davidson did years ago because he was working in, I think it was Blackpool, and he had to get like a little shuttle plane, like a little tiny little plane. And he had someone at the front desk who said, look, I've been taking this shuttle plane for 6 weeks or whatever. Week 7, new person turns up and says, do you have identification? Like gives her the ticket and everything like that. No bags. Yeah. Do you have identification? He goes, I don't want to be rude, but do you recognize me? And she goes, yeah. And he goes, well, there you go, that's proof. And she says, well, we need positive proof. And he said, all right, are you positive you recognise me? And it's almost like you need something like that almost, isn't it? So,
well,
it's so odd. I mean, I'd love, to be honest, if my dad, I know my dad can't call in because obviously he works for local council, so he's not allowed to. But it would be great to get his take because he actually does the electoral like when
he does the count.
When he goes to the polling station, he's the one who gives you your voting form when you give in your ballot card. So, but unfortunately, he's not allowed to. But it would be great to get his opinion on it and see what he thinks because I don't know what it's like in Suffolk, but I mean, I know back in Chigwell, it was majority blue anyway. So about 50% was the victory normally.
Well, obviously, Keir Starmer's taken a hit. He's done a bit of a reorganisation of his cabinet from the election. I wasn't surprised that Labour was worse off. I think he was completely right in that people in times of crisis, people do rally around the government, and the people have been happy with stability
you've got. Really,
people have been happy with the vaccine rollout. That's been successful.
We finally got it right. Yeah, I dare say.
But do you know what? I don't think that's down to the government. That's down to the good planning of the NHS.
No, it is. It's true. I make you right on that. But I think that in times of uncertainty, it's a bit like when you're in a relationship and it falls apart or whatever, and then you go your separate ways, and then after a while you start missing that person. You try and get back in touch with them. You think, well, maybe should we try it again? I think that's kind of the same thing. We were so fed up with the government, and now it's kind of a case of, well, they are the constant. You kind of want to go back to them, and whether it's the NHS or whatever, it's what we know. It's what we've known for the last 10 years.
And they've been and Boris Johnson and all his ministerial colleagues have been on the TV a lot more, providing a lot of information, which in voters' minds makes them stronger. So, that is just the case that the UK will be voting Conservative, and a lot more people will be voting Conservative for quite a long time.
As long as you've got your ID.
And as long as you've got your ID. I mean, my issue with this Queen's speech is there's no support for young people.
No,
there's no. I didn't see a bill that would benefit anyone under the age of 30.
Yeah.
What I did like, though, the Judicial Review Bill will protect the judiciary, i.e., the Supreme Court, from being drawn into political questions. I'm very surprised that has been put in there because Boris Johnson, as we know, last year, disagreed with the Supreme Court over his unlawful advice, supposedly, to the Queen about suspending Parliament for, 2 months or something?
Something like that, yeah.
It was a long, long time.
It was so that he could basically just
force through the Brexit deal without a vote on it, which is, unconstitutional.
It's a grey area, isn't it?
It's not a grey area. It undermines Parliament. I won't get into it.
Yeah.
We'll get all political.
It undermines democracy as a whole.
Well, no, it just undermines Parliament's power.
Yeah.
And that in the UK is something we're very fixated on, is Parliament is sovereign, and therefore it's not Boris that does all the leading, it's Parliament.
Yeah.
And in that case, Boris tried to circumvent them. But aside from that, very, very surprising, because after that had happened, Boris Johnson was obviously a bit annoyed that he lost, and he was ceding lots of information to the press that he was going to review the Supreme Court's role in the UK, which I thought was, frankly, very bad for democracy.
Yeah.
Make it like the US. You'll end up with horrible, horrible laws and stuff. I think another thing is that Northern Ireland has obviously was in the Queen's speech, and they want to give a bill that will increase Northern Ireland's devolved powers. And and address the legacy of the Troubles to deliver better outcomes for victims and survivors. Obviously, we heard that case in West Belfast this morning in Ballymurph.
Yeah, it's 10 people were unlawfully killed,
50
weren't they?
people,
50, beg your pardon,
50
yeah,
people were
unlawfully killed. Yeah.
And they were actually innocent, and inquestors found. So, you know, while that's a tragedy, Northern Ireland turned 100 last week.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
And it's safe to say it wasn't exactly the most positive thing in the world. There's been lots of unrest in Northern Ireland.
And as you were saying a couple of weeks ago, it's still not really being reported. I don't even know if it's calmed down now. I say calmed down. I mean, it will never calm down.
It has calmed down. But the thing is, the strange thing I found about that violence is it wasn't motivated by paramilitary groups. It was more motivated by gangs sort of wanting to cause a fuss. It's because it distracts police effort.
Well, I mean, look at the whole Mark Duggan thing years ago. I mean, that started the riots, across London. I find it absolutely amazing that it's probably people who have absolutely no clue about the separation between unionists and Republicans or anything like that.
Yeah,
they just want to go out and start a ruckus.
Well, do you know what the strange thing I thought was that the paramilitaries apparently were like very much against this, and they went out to say, "Listen, stop."
Against the violence."
Yeah. And I read an article, and it was an interview with the paramilitary. Says they had no respect. You wouldn't have thought the young people just did not respect
like
our
rules of
authority.
engagement.
You'd have to go out with a baseball bat and sort them out like that. But that's quite weird that there was such a strange power grapple in Northern Ireland for that, because it apparently is only 2 weeks ago that 3 Catholic households were expelled. 3 households were kicked out of their homes by threats and sort of like,
jeez.
Yeah, it still happens. Because they were suspected to be Catholic in a Protestant neighborhood. That it still goes on. Still goes on. Well, mate, this is Northern Ireland, and I think the reason the press doesn't report on this much is because it's been going on for 40 years now.
It's just, do you know what? It's the sort of thing. This is what I would say, and I don't mean this in a horrible way. This is the sort of thing that would probably get prime viewing on, like, say, the BBC World Service, because I don't know if you've ever seen the BBC World Service. It's primarily they tackle the news for everywhere, hence the World Service.
Yeah.
It's, you'll get like 35 to 40 minutes worth of news in Africa. You'll get 25 minutes in, say, the Middle East or China or Japan, the Far East. With the 6 o'clock news on the BBC or ITV, because you've only got a 30-minute program, you'll get about 2 minutes worth of, in Zimbabwe today, something happened to the controlling party there, with Emerson Mnangagwa. You'll get 3 minutes with China and their efforts for trying to find patient 0 of coronavirus. That's what I say. I think in Ireland,
I think they already know who their patient 0 is.
It's trying to find them, supposedly, isn't it? But it's, if they've not been made to disappear. But that's what I mean. I think that for something like that, it needs to be not just on like a cable channel. It's you'll get channel 601. It needs to be on prime time to let people know that this is still going on. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be sorted.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that's one of the sad things about the media is that they don't address things that aren't in the limelight. And if the media doesn't make it news, it isn't news.
Yeah, it's true.
Anyway, me and Tom love making things news, so we're going to go to some adverts so that we can keep telling you about the news that we think you should find important and you should listen to, just to keep you informed with the world's doings and stuff. But we'll be right back after this. Do stay tuned.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org।
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामात दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk www.maxwellestates.co.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मुहतात होकर उठाएं।
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can finally get out of the house and do some of the things we've all been missing, like meeting friends over a takeaway coffee or visiting family for a barbecue. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be your friend, relative, or even you. Help stop the spread by reducing travel and meeting outside. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping, and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
Waris Food Store, the place to go for all your meat and groceries. We stock thousands of items from fresh fruit and veg to all your favourite Ramadan food products. Based at 420 Hoe Street in Walthamstow, we can deliver anything you need right to your doorstep. Just give us a call on 0208 521 0000 and take advantage of our huge Ramadan offers. Waris Food Stores is now also available on Uber Eats.
Revive FM
94.0 on the radio,
on your mobile,
and online.
Hello. You're listening to Revive FM. My name is Henry Scott, and I'm here in the studio with my wonderful co-host
Tom Hutchinson.
I'm Scott, and he's
Hutch.
And this is Scott and Hutch.
We're getting better at that each week.
We are. I think we're slowly but surely improving. But it's time for the news.
On FM,
On YouTube,
Facebook,
under your bed,
in your closet.
and we're hiding in your fridge.
Hello. Henry Scott and Tom Hutchinson bring you the news.
On Revive FM.
What stellar
I
jingle.
mean, we're doing well. We got stellar jingle. We got some stellar graphics. I mean,
Now all we need is like an advert.
I know. Like,
We should do another little ad.
we need to speak to the powers that be and say, give us an advert, because we could even produce it. It wouldn't cost anything. We could, we've got the equipment. We can make like a $6 million advert. We can be like the Steve Rogers of adverts. We can make it stronger, harder, faster, better, stronger, and cheaper than anybody else.
An interesting thing this noted this week is that apparently if the voting from the local elections was translated to a national election, the Tories' majority would have been cut.
Really?
From 365 to 349.
Well, it was a bit slim. It was. You saw that in the London elections because Sadiq Khan was running away with it, and then all of a sudden everybody started catching up, didn't they? I mean, did you see even Lawrence Fox got 2% of the vote?
Well, do you know what's better is that Nico Milana beat him?
Yeah,
but
another YouTuber.
The funniest thing about the whole London election for me was that Max Fosh, bless his cotton socks, only ran so he could beat Lawrence. Yeah. Max Fosh only ran so he could beat Lawrence Fox,
and he couldn't even do that.
And he didn't.
Yeah.
So
he literally had one job.
His one policy promise failed.
Yeah, but I'd see, and again, I don't mean this in a horrible way, right? Especially for people like Count Binface or
Count Binface should have got more votes.
Well, but like it kind of makes a little bit. It's a bit like with the old Monster Raving Loony Party. Do you remember that from back in the day? I think that's still going.
Yeah,
on.
they're still around.
Like they just, it kind of makes a little
24,775 votes, by the way. 9th out of 20, which is pretty impressive.
That's what he got. 20. Hang on, he got 24,000 votes, Max.
Yeah.
Max,
No.
The other one.
Count Binface.
Oh, Count Binface.
Lawrence Fox got 49,000 votes.
Wow. Blimey.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's obviously a few people out there who must have believed what he was saying. What about, actually, what did old Mr. Brian Rose get?
Oh, only 3,000. We should actually contact his campaign team and get him on here and talk about why he ran. Because for me...
What, Brian?
Yeah, because for me personally, I just didn't see, I wasn't inspired by his campaign. All I saw was a bloke going for a bit of a media grab. And there's lots of controversy that was around his campaign anyway, you know, COVID misinformation, scamming his listeners out of money.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things which just put me right off.
Am I right? Did he not, he crowdfunded the £10,000, didn't he, I believe, to actually
No, he paid for it himself.
Oh, did he? Oh, right.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it'd be interesting to get him on if we can do it. But
totally.
Yeah, I think it's also just some of the adverts. I saw some of his adverts on YouTube, and I'll be brutally honest with you, and this is not a dig. I thought it was a comedian having a wind up. I thought it was like, do you remember there was I think I've said this before. You know the guy who was his name Jonathan, something like that. Do you remember he was the comedian who they made it look like he was on Russia Today, and then it would be a case of, do you remember like they'd cut and then he'd go, oh well, this is that, and everybody thought, you know, it went worldwide that news reporter has meltdown live on air. It wasn't. It was a comedian doing a one, and he nicked the Russia Today graphics.
Yeah,
and that's what I thought Brian Rose was. I thought it was a comedian or a podcaster or someone like that who was saying, I'm going to run for mayor and I'm going to do this. No, I didn't realize he was being serious. I thought it was a wind up. I just thought it was going to be one of those like a Keith Lemon sort of thing where it's Lee Francis, but it's a character. It's Brian, especially with the name Brian Rose. I thought it was a bit. I thought it was like
I thought it was a joke as well.
I thought it was Alan Partridge sort of style. You know.
I mean, I think probably one of the most interesting things for me was that the Green Party beat the Liberal Democrats in the Mayor of London election.
Yeah, the Lib Dems seem to have lost their
fallen into obscurity.
Yeah,
which is I find a bit strange because you would have thought that. I mean, to be honest, Joe Swinson's not helped. So
I mean, I know the Green Party. Well, I think they still are. They still run the constituency that my dad lives in Suffolk. And people up there are actually I don't want to say welcome with open arms. That's the wrong thing to say. But they're quite happy with the job that they are doing in power. They're quite happy with them. Whether they'll get a second term or not, I don't know. But yeah, everyone's sort of quite happy with them running things in that area of Suffolk. I think it's sort of like Lowestoft and Beccles and that sort of way. So
I think probably thing is when I first saw Brian Rose's campaign, I thought, oh, this is a wild card. It might be interesting. But then I continually read that his description on Wikipedia in the news has been a podcaster who has actively promoted misinformation related to COVID-19. Just totally was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, you just lose all respect.
You just can't vote for someone like that.
Yeah, because if that's them before they run for office, what are they going to be like when they get in office? You know, and how much more misinformation is going to be? Next thing you know, it'll be sort of, COVID is spread by X, Y, and Z, and people coming in from this country. People coming out, it's like that's not what we need right now. We need to be getting everybody together and tackling.
Sean Bailey, though, what a surprise! They'd written him off.
Yeah,
they had absolutely written him off. Yeah, but do you know what? Right, I reckon if the Conservatives had not pulled out all his support, he might have been within a chance to beat.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very slim win, wasn't it, for Sadiq? It was, before it was a slam dunk, and now
he only won by 300,000 votes. Yeah, which in if you think
in London is
not much.
No, because I mean, London there's 7 million people. Well, last I checked, there were 7 million people. I haven't gone around counting, but I think the average was there was the old advert, wasn't there? 7 million Londoners, 1 London, and so it's got to be around that, if not maybe about 8 million or even 9. But yeah, to win by 300,000, that says a lot for what people are thinking, with regards to Labour at the moment, So I
mean, if I'm honest, here's something I feel in London constituencies where there are Labour MPs, and this is no insult to them or the work they do, but remember when I ran for election
Mm.
for MP and I stood as an independent.
Yeah.
A lot of people would say to me, "Oh yeah, no, he's a good MP, but I never really see him other than around election time."
Mm.
Or and usually the line was, "I never see him around election time, and I only get invited to coffee mornings and stuff when I think." So I think what it is that Labour in London has just sort of decided that it'll always be London, and so they don't bother their bums.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's a.
I'm
very,
not saying that about every Labour MP in London, but I've heard that
Yeah,
rhetoric
they're
quite
not
a lot
on-
from a lot of people.
Yeah, they're not on call, but I dare say that could be the same for sort of most MPs. All right, I know they're busy. I know they've got a lot of work to do, but they're only there when they need you. They are not there when you need them, if that makes sense. So, which is very, very tricky. And all right, I know that obviously depending on the wards they have, or sorry, the boroughs that they run, they can stretch for miles, and it's very difficult. But you almost feel like you just want to sort of have, even if it was a case of just get an assistant and, yeah, sure, ping me an email or, yeah, do you know what? I'm running for the bus, but I'll tell you what, I've got 10 minutes. Do you want to sit and we'll have a quick talk about what your problem is? Let me write it down. I can't do it now. I will get back to you by this time. If not, I will call you to say, I'm sorry, I can't do it by this time. I'll do it by this time. Just try, what's the word? Like the personal touch. That's what you want. You don't want to feel like you are just a number. You don't want to feel like you're Patrick McGowan in the Prisoner. You actually want someone just to hear your problem, say, look, you don't have to fix it now, but please just take it on board. And if you can't deal with it, can you delegate it to someone in your team who can do? I would actually be more inclined to vote for someone like that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're spot on. But do you know what, though? Voter turnout declined by 4%.
Really?
Which surprised me because I thought a lot more people would be very interested. But I think probably COVID has been a contributing factor because older people vote. Older people more at risk for coronavirus.
Yes.
So
that's why
that is why turnout is down.
And also the fact that we've been told, even though we're coming out of lockdown and we're in the sort of the second stage now of this 4-stage plan to get out of it, we're still being told to minimise travel,
which is beautiful because next week hugging will be permitted.
Yes, I know. I've got the list of things. I was going to run it at 6:00, but we could actually cheat and do it now if you want.
No. We've got 2 minutes before we're going to go to a break.
Oh, that's
so
all right.
Hold on.
Tea stuff. I've also got a really good story later on to finish on, which is going to have you in stitches, my friend. I'm telling you now. I promise you. I'll give you a hint. It won't suck.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
That's
anyway. Moving on. I mean, like, I cannot wait. Next week, you'll be able to sit inside and have a pint. You'll be able to give someone a hug.
Yeah, you can't dance with them though.
There'll be no face masks required in things. And then a month and 4 days later, you will be able,
to
go
and see your family,
without a mask.
I know,
without anything.
And do you know what I'm looking forward to? Although I'm not a season ticket holder, and I can't really say it, but
Tottenham.
Yes, next week. 10,000 screaming Tottenham fans back at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. No more crowd noise. Brilliant.
Wait, really? What?
Yeah, basically, you can't. So that what they are doing is, as part of the government rollout, you still have to, do COVID tests and make sure that you're not carrying. But for the last 10 Premier League games, home fans can go to the stadium. It's got to be. I'll run through it later on when we're at the top of the next hour. But it's either 10,000 people in the stadium or a quarter capacity, whichever is the lower. So Tottenham is about 64,000 people, I think. But I think they're talking about having about 10,000 people in there. So we had 4,000 for the 7,000 for the Carabao Cup final, which we got absolutely slaughtered at Wembley. Went really well. The numbers didn't go up or anything like that, or the infection rate didn't go up. Everyone was really well behaved. So now they're saying to up it to 10,000. That's going to be for everybody. So I think Leeds are doing it at Southampton. So there'll be 10,000 people at the stadium.
It's going to be pretty incredible.
Can't wait. Cannot wait. So this is the start of it because I really want to go to Silverstone in August.
You know what I'm thinking now? I wish I'd booked myself in for some festivals. Because I just haven't.
Well, they're starting to come back, aren't they? But I'd see this is the thing. And this is where I think I've been. All right, I've never really gone to a festival because I'm not very good. I'm not good when it comes to massive crowds. Like I struggled with Muse last year.
Sometimes I find it a bit boring because if you get separated from your mates, and there's sort of like there's a couple of people around.
Well, it's also when you got Glastonbury, you've got to try and time it. Let's say you want to go watch, I don't know,
too many stages.
Yeah, you want to go watch the Foo Fighters on the main stage, but then you want to go and see I don't know, Wolf Alice on the other stage, for example.
Oh,
You've
who
got to
wants to
trek
see
about.
Wolf Alice, mate.
Well, I'm just pulling a name
No.
out of the hat, but like
No.
you know, you got to walk 55 minutes
Yeah.
to go and see that, and then by the time you get there, oh wow, it's the last song. Oh well, never mind. That's the only thing. But I'm just being stuck in my ways. But yeah, I'm just counting down the days now to basically when I can go back to rugby and when I can go to Silverstone, hopefully in August for the British MotoGP.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. Anyway, we'll also be wishing our advertisers the best of luck when their businesses reopen. And just to give them a little bit of support, we're going to play some of their adverts for you. So do stay tuned. Me and Scott and Hutch will be right back after this.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk or contact our sales team now on 07944 565616. That's 07944 565616. Advertise with Revive FM.
Thinking about selling or letting your home? With Maxwell Estates, you don't need to look any further. Well established with over 15 years of experience, Maxwell Estates are specialists in residential sales and lettings. We manage over 200 properties in and around Northwest London, keeping our landlords and tenants updated with all the latest laws and legislations. Based in Edgware, our experienced specialist negotiators always ensure we maximize the full potential of your property. Call us now on 0208 952 0808 for a free no obligation quotation, or visit our website www.maxwellestates.co.uk for further information. Maxwell Estates, the name you can trust.
Does your pizza excite you? London Pizza Depot invites you on a journey with our worldwide inspired pizzas. Be it the sizzling hearts of New York with the NYC hot dog pizza, or the cobble streets of Greece with our Greek goddess. Transport yourself with every bite. Our authentically prepared, hand-stretched dough, freshly diced bread, finest cuts of halal meat, and our 100% mozzarella cheese ensures the delivery of a masterpiece every time. Visit londonpizzadepot.co.uk or our branches in Ilford or Plaistow. This Ramadan, enjoy 50% off when you spend over £15. T&Cs apply.
This is Aisha. Her father died in an accident at a very young age. She lives with her mother and siblings. There are millions like Aisha who do not have access to the very basics of life, resulting in her and many others not being able to attend school. Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your charity is dedicated towards supporting the full needs of orphans and needy children around the world. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777. Or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can meet up outside in groups of up to 6 or 2 households. Have friends round for a drink in the garden. There you are, doing your bit, keeping a safe distance. When it starts to get dark and a little chilly, and suddenly your lounge looks very warm and inviting. But don't forget, you're much safer in the fresh air because COVID-19 particles are blown away. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air. Everyone can now get free rapid COVID-19 tests twice a week. They show your results within 30 minutes. They also show you're doing what you can to protect your loved ones, your friends, your workmates, and that you want to keep life moving again. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be a friend, a relative, a workmate. It could even be you. Rapid tests are easy to get from nhs.uk/get tested. Let's take this next step safely.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello, you're listening to Revive FM. My name is Henry Scott. I'm in the studio with more wonderful co-host
Tom Hutchinson.
And welcome.
Yes,
I'm Scott and
welcome
he's
to Hutch.
And this is Scott and Hutch. All right, man. Like, you know, it's been a pretty good news cycle this week.
Yeah, I think everyone's feeling a little bit optimistic now. The fact that next week we're getting out of lockdown a little bit more, and things are getting back to normal a bit more. So I think everyone seems a little bit more optimistic. And
sorry.
Oh, you're right there.
Just trying to move my arm.
I'll tell you what.
It's a bit painful.
Yes, we need to discuss the reason why. It's not because he's been working on the gun show. It's the fact that that Mr. Scott has had his second COVID jab
if
today.
I raise one arm above, I can raise my right arm, but yeah, there we go.
That's it. He's basically had his second COVID jab today, so he is now fully inoculated against the coronavirus. So, well, you'll be right. I mean, I'm trying to think. I think my 3 months runs out on June the 17th. I think so. I'm going to be just in time for the 21st when everything opens back up again, which I cannot wait for. I mean, that's if I get in quick enough. Because the problem is I can't. I mean, have you looked at the? Did you get? Actually, I was going to ask you. Did you get an invite for your second jab? Or
yeah, they sent me a text.
Ah, right, yeah. So that's the thing. Yeah, because I know I actually looked online this afternoon just to see how it works. I thought, try and get it in. Not early, but I try to get it in as close to the 17th as I can do.
Yeah.
And it says on there, please do not use this service if you've had your first jab already. And I'm like, oh, dang. So so I think from the 17th, that's when my 3 months runs out, and that's when I get to go through all the excitement of having the headache and the fever and the achy legs.
Well, maybe you won't on your second dose.
I'm hoping not. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm going to be prepared this time. I'm going to make sure I have the day off following, and I'm going to just have loads of paracetamol, loads of sports drank, because I can't say the name of the brand, but just have all that stuff on standby, ready to go. And if worse comes to worse, I just have an early night, and hopefully I will try and sleep. But I might maybe try and take some, herbal relaxation tablets. Because again, I can't say the brand name. Something to help me, calm down, and just see if that works. Because that was the worst thing. I think if I'd have just had the headache and the fever, I'd have been fine. I could have just sweated it out, had a shower, and been fine. The fact that I got no sleep, that was the bit that knocked me for six. But again,
kill you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's and again, we have to stress this is not everybody's going to have this.
Yeah, do I actually have it in my bag?
Has he got the jab?
I've got a jab sheet here. This lists you all your side effects. So very common may affect. This is Pfizer. Pain at the injection site. Yep. Tiredness. Yep. Headache. Nope. Muscle pain. Nope. Chills, joint pain, and fever. Nope. Common side effects may affect up to 1 in 10 people. Injection at site swelling, redness at the injection site, nausea. Nope, never happened to me. Uncommon, enlarged lymph nodes, feeling unwell. Rare side effects, 1 in 1,000. Temporary one-sided facial droop. Not me. Not known. A severe allergic reaction, but I mean that's so mild it can't be estimated from the data because it's not happened enough.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and I'll be honest. I had the AstraZeneca one. This is before the whole under 40s. You might potentially get a blood. Do you know what? I'll be honest with you. The figures, I am, because of my mental state, my mental health.
Yeah.
I used to be terrified of dying. Now I don't care because I just think to myself, and I know it sounds a bit morbid, I can go and hopefully be with my mum again. Well, that's what I think. So if I go, I go. I'm not
it's
bothered.
like one of those situations. I've always thought if I was ever in a plane crash, there's nothing I can do. Yeah. This is what's supposed to happen. Just try and nod off before.
That's it. Just that's it. I mean, so but that's the thing I have now. Now it's a case. All right, I'd like to go out the same way I came in, which is screaming and kicking and putting up a fight. But like I'm, if I go, but we were reading up about the whole blood clot situation is 0.085%. So it's
you're more likely to get a blood clot from taking the contraceptive pill.
Yeah, which is I'll be honest with you, it's been a long time since I've done that. But like
Tom, when did you take it at all?
Well, you know what it's like. You're in a group of friends and everyone's passing around the contraceptive pills. But no, so basically all I had, and again I can only speak for myself, was I had the jab at 11 o'clock. Funnily enough, next door to where the studio is here. And I felt absolutely fine. I went to the cemetery, put some flowers down on my mum's grave. I then came back home to my old house, walked to a corner shop because I was delivering a parcel. It's about a mile away. Then came back. It was another mile. And then I felt absolutely fine until about 7 o'clock at night when I just started to I felt like I'd left the heating on. So I was like, oh, it's getting a bit warm in here. And then I started to get like my legs were aching. And I was like, oh, maybe I've just overdone it a bit. And then it's like, hang on, I feel a little bit like I've got a headache. And I'm like, oh no, this is it. But in fairness, I don't drink a lot, like with regards to water. This is why if you ever see it, I actually have a water bottle in the studio with me because I don't drink that much. I probably have you're supposed to have about 8 glasses a day. I'm lucky if I have 2. which is not good. So I think
there's lots of debate about how much water we should be drinking.
I think it was like I said, I think it was down to dehydration, and that's why I had the headache and the fever, and so because I sweated it out over the evening. So that's the reason. So it doesn't mean that everybody's going to have that, but obviously, if you get your call up and you get your vaccine, get it done. Whether you get
exactly, because then you'll be able to go on holiday. But I think probably what's important to note is that even if you do go on holiday at the minute from May 17th, sadly, 6 Wetherspoons in the UK will not be opening. And those Wetherspoons will be Stansted Airport, Doncaster Airport, Edinburgh Airport, and Glasgow Airport. And 2 more Wetherspoons are located in the NEC in Birmingham. So if you live or use any of those spoons regularly, which I don't imagine anyone does, then I'm very sorry to disappoint you. But those will be the 6 Wetherspoons, not opening back up on the.
I know.
I love how the Sun does.
But the fact is, have you heard Wetherspoons and Travelodge are actually opening up new sites because they've got the money to do it, which I find so interesting. So whether they've and it's not a lot. I think it's like Travelodge doing about 17 hotels. I think Wetherspoons are doing about 25 pubs. But the thing that I had to chuckle at, so you know when we got the list of places you can go to, the green zones, I love the fact that the Falkland Islands was on one of them. I mean, let's be honest.
It's just British, isn't it?
I know. All right, I get it. It's a British territory.
I've
but let's
actually
be
always
honest.
wanted to go.
I don't know.
I might book a flight.
I mean, I saw what happened on Top Gear. I don't really feel like I'd want to go back. All right, I'd have to watch the license plate that I go along with in the car because we all know what happens there if you have 982 FLK on there, or they think that it's something else, or FKL or whatever it was. But it's just not been one of those things that is really exciting. I tell you what I do want to do. I want to go to Japan. I want to go to Tokyo because I mean, you know me. I'm a big tech geek, as I showed you the other day with my tech house that is currently being teched up. I won't lie. I would come back there. I would have a backpack full of clothing and about 3 suitcases full of tech, just everything from computers to games consoles, you name it. I think the Japanese economy could survive on me alone for about 3 days, just the amount I would spend. But that's what I want to do. That is on my bucket list, is to and also to go back to New York. I'd like to go back to New York as well and just see how that's changed, because I've not been there since my mum passed away. So that was 2015 was the last time we went at Christmas. So I'd like to go back there and just see how much that's changed and see how much Trump's ruined it. But like, that's the 2 things I want to do when I can do. And then, as I said before, I still want to do the Route 500 around Scotland. So that's my next thing. So a nice little 5-day trip around Scotland on the bikes would do me very, very well.
Cool. Anyway, it is time for me and Tom to go to another ad break, but we do hope you'll stay tuned with us, as we'll be still right back after this. You can listen to another whole hour of Scott and Hutch.
Lucky.
We've got plenty of stuff to talk about. We've even got some random acts of kindness coming up. So please do stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can finally get out of the house and do some of the things we've all been missing, like meeting friends over a takeaway coffee or visiting family for a barbecue. Around 1 in 3 people who have COVID-19 have no symptoms and are spreading it without knowing. That could be your friend, relative, or even you. Help stop the spread by reducing travel and meeting outside. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
Through Minhaj Welfare Foundation, your giving saves lives. Your support has provided more than 3 million people with access to clean and safe water, emergency relief in natural disaster and crisis-affected areas around the world, supported orphans and needy children with a better future. This year, your help can do more. Donate your zakat, sadaqah, and charitable donations to any of your chosen projects. Call us now, 0300 30 30 777, or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामत दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं।
निकाह, तलाक
counseling on matrimonial disputes, Islamic wills, Islamic law of inheritance, or an Islamic verdict on any other issue. The Muslim Sharia Council is at your service. We provide official certification, and our experienced and highly qualified imams are available to provide you with guidance when needed. MQI London is based at 292 to 296 Romford Road, Forest Gate. We are open from Monday to Friday, 2 to 4 p.m. or alternatively, call us now on 0208 257 1786.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
Need your tyres checked? Have a flat or a nail in your tyre? Don't panic. Visit B1 Tyres. Our professional and friendly team will have you back on the road in no time. We stock over 3,000 tyres and have some of the best prices in town. Wheel alignment, alloy gaiters, and wheel refurbs are just some of the services that we offer. So call us on 0203 875 3525 or visit us at B1 Tyres, Unit B, 43 to 49 Fowler Road in Hainault. B1 Tyres, the garage you can trust. If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 07944 56 5616. That's 07944 56 5616.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
بتعقد ليه في حياتك وبتحزن وتتأثر لو كنت ناسي تذكر سيرتنا بينا وفكر اسمع كلام وتفاءل بشر ولا تنفر ويوحد الله في قلبك قادر في عسرك ينسر صلي على النبي وتبسم ده النبي تبسم وتبسم ده النبي تبسم اللهم صلي عليه صلي على النبي وتبسم ده النبي تبسم وتبسم ده النبي تبسم اللهم صلي عليه وصلي وادعي من قلبك هيبعد الهم عنك وما انت مؤمن بربك.
This is
Revive FM
94.0 with the latest news from around the world.
From the Sky News Centre at 6, the relatives of 10 people who were killed in West Belfast nearly 50 years ago have welcomed a ruling their loved ones were innocent. They were shot dead in Ballymurphy in 1971 during a military operation to detain suspected IRA members. A coroner's established the victims died without justification and the British Army was responsible for 9 of them. Eileen McEwen lost her dad Joseph Corr and says it's a bittersweet moment.
Our verdict today gives all those families that are asking for truth to be told about their loved ones hope. Never give up, never give in.
Police are searching a cafe in Gloucester for remains of a suspected victim of serial killer Fred West. The family of 15-year-old Mary Bastome, who went missing in the 1960s, say they're being kept updated. The Prime Minister says his programme for government will unleash the nation's potential as we recover from the COVID pandemic. The Queen set out the plans, which includes a move to better integrate health and social care. Labour says it ignores the big challenges. The re-elected Mayor of Greater Manchester says the UK's vaccine committee is considering a proposal to give COVID jabs to all over 16s in the area. Andy Burnham's asked for the move after a rise in cases around Bolton linked to the Indian variant. He says other local authorities have made a similar request. Manchester United are aiming to stop their rivals being crowned Premier League champions as their game against Leicester gets underway. A defeat tonight would hand the title to Manchester City. And Dua Lipa's among the stars performing at the Brit Awards tonight in London's first live music event in over a year.
I'm really excited, a little bit overwhelmed and nervous, but it's going to be a lot of fun. I think if I wasn't feeling this way, I'd be a little bit worried.
4,000 people are getting to watch it live. Most of them are key workers. That's the latest. I'm Fraser Knight.
This is Revive FM 94.0.
Reviving communities.
The views expressed on this program do not necessarily represent those of Revive FM or its management.
Hello there. Welcome back to Revive FM 94.0. My name is Tom Hutchinson. It is the second hour of Scott and Hutch. And yes, as a special offer, you have had the first hour, so now you get the second hour for free. And joining me, I quite like that one. Well, I quite like that.
Well, I mean, the first hour was free anyway, Tom.
I know, that was the point. It was supposed to be funny. Anyway, joining me to debate these things is my amazing co-host
Henry Scott.
There he is, right there.
Oh my goodness!
And the ruiner of my dreams. I'm joking.
Sorry, Tom.
My career in stand-up there completely gone.
Sorry.
Yes, so we were talking about it at the in the first hour, which of course people had to pay for by listening to our adverts, which are absolutely amazing. So obviously from next Monday, the rules changed. Things are starting to open back up just that little bit more, ready for a full easing of lockdown. As you can see, if you're watching our live streams, you can give us a call live into the studio on 0333 444 0940. That is 0333 444 0940. Please
Very
do.
Important number you must
exactly
remember.
Yeah, you can even WhatsApp us as well if you don't feel like you want to come and speak to us live on air. If you're a little bit nervous, that's absolutely fine. You can also send us a message on our Facebook and YouTube streams by going to Revive FM UK. And also, if you'll have a look, we've got some nice shiny new graphics on there as well. Which
we do.
I must be honest with you.
I cannot wait to post those on my Instagram.
They look brilliant.
Awesome.
I do have to question though, did I perm my hair that day or what? Because it looked like I've got a bit of a Bobby Ball perm going on.
Well, we both look great. What can we say?
It was you look great. I just look like I sort of been dragged through a hedge backwards, which is how I.
No, man, we look brilliant. We look excellent.
It was the flicks and the perm.
Listen, Tom, it's all about manifestation. If you say you look great, you'll look great.
I sound like Kevin Keegan back in the 80s, but that was just me. Right, so we are basically going to quickly run down all the things you can and can't do to make sure that you are safe following lockdown.
Well, you're just not going to do anything illegal, basically.
Yeah, exactly. To make sure that it's all okay. Now, unfortunately, I did have some music, but unfortunately,
you know what I can't wait for is the rule of 6 to end.
Oh,
because thing is, all of my friendship
technically
groups,
it kind of is in a way.
You know what's quite weird is a lot of my friendship groups have just suddenly got smaller to the perfect number that we can hang out with.
Yeah.
So that's quite interesting.
I know you have to build them back up again. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
I need a big friendship group. All my friendship groups are not that I'm just holding any of my friends listen. Not that I don't love you guys, but like admittedly, no, Tom, I do. No, I do love you guys.
I'm joking, of course.
You know, like I haven't had a friendship group. I haven't been out with more than 6 people in quite a long time, and it's a shame.
It is. I know. Do you know what? It's going to be so weird though when we're all allowed to go back.
Oh, it's going to be so weird.
June 21st. I'm telling you now, the world's going to.
Do I even have more than 6 friends now? I don't know.
This is it. This is the tales of lockdown. Remember back in the day when I had 7 friends? You know, it's like was it Gavin and Stacey?
I think just as a collective service to the rest of the world for time to come, even though this pandemic wasn't that bad, we need to lie to all the future generations and tell them how horrible it was. Like
we call it the near apocalypse.
We didn't eat for several days at a time, and we had to go out to Sainsbury's wearing full hazmat suits.
I know.
It was horrific. Life broke down.
Breaking Bad was actually a historical documentary. You see when they're wearing hazmat suits, that's what you had to do to go to work.
I think also one of the highlights
as a chemical engineer.
One of the highlights of the news this year for me has been that there's an article from The Guardian. Gwyneth Paltrow broke down in lockdown and ate bread for the first time. What was your lockdown low point? And someone had commented underneath Twitter, I lost my job and my mother died.
I mean, sorry, can we just say that again? Because I think that might actually just, I mean, this is going to be breaking. So let's just quickly play this.
News. Gwyneth Paltrow eats bread. More at 7 o'clock.
That was your.
Oh my goodness.
News.
Yeah, forget the coronavirus. She's eating carbs. My God, does that mean now that candle?
I just shut up.
Does that mean
no one
that
cares?
candle's going to have to change the smell of the candle?
Do you know what? I am actually a bit sick of celebrities. Can we have a little talk? Can we have a talk about this, please?
Go on, let's do it, and then we'll go through everything.
Mate, honestly, I'm a bit not bothered about celebrities anymore because I reckon a lot of our listeners at home and our viewers on Facebook Live will realise that celebrities, have been the most fortunate during this pandemic. It's like, oh no, they haven't been acting. And Robert De Niro was like, I'll be lucky to make 100,000 this year. And I was like, oh no, let me play your song on the world's smallest violin.
Well, do you know what? I was listening
It's ridiculous.
Do you know what I've been doing? I've been listening to the 2 Pints with Will and Ralph podcast from Will Miller and Ralph Little. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm behind. I've just caught up with this year's one. So they're on season 2 now. And I've just caught kind of Will was struggling because he lost his father last year to COVID and his mental health took a bit of a dip. Ralph Little, he's not been too bad. He's struggled. He's really struggled. He's had to go out to Guadeloupe, in the Caribbean to go and film Death in Paradise.
Oh no!
So all you hear in every episode, so what you been up to there? What you been up to there this week, Ralph? Well, I did like 6 hours a day in the blistering heat in the Caribbean. And Will, I can't say the words, but obviously Will being a northerner, he went, you cheeky turnip.
Yeah.
And, he said, there's some of us here struggling, snort, rain, sleet. You're getting a sunburn. Oh, that's tough. So it is
I just couldn't care less. Like when the celebrities will release their version of Imagine by John Lennon.
I couldn't
deal with it. I
just
was like, this is the most stupid thing in the world. And also, me being a musician, I really couldn't deal with the different keys in which they were singing. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
I'll be honest. Well, I'll tell you the only thing I didn't like was Michael Ball getting involved with "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Captain, shut up.
And it was also Captain Tom Moore. Amazing what he did, but I mean, like that was kind of jumping the shark almost, and especially when they couldn't even time the lyrics right. So when Captain Tom is talking his bits, it didn't actually go in time with the song. And unfortunately, it's one of the things I can't listen to. But I couldn't listen to. I love Gal Gadot. Don't get me wrong, but I could not listen to Imagine. I just think that was a little bit too much. But I'll tell you what, though, the good news for everyone who wants to be a celebrity, Love Island's coming back in a few weeks, so you get to go off and make love to some random stranger with a COVID test in Mallorca. So you want to get in there? Good luck, because unfortunately,
I'm sorry. I'm really over it. I can't be bothered to watch Love Island. I tried watching it.
I've never watched it. My cousin is obsessed with it.
Just don't bother, man. If I'm honest, ever since Caroline Flack left the show,
and
I didn't really like it then either. It's just been it's been even more less watchable.
Well, don't get me wrong.
And I don't care. Tom, I just don't care.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Laura Whitmore. I think she's a great presenter. She's so funny and she's so self-deprecating. But I just don't see the point of I'm going on a reality show to basically knock someone's brains out, if you know what I mean, in the bedroom. And I'm then going to come out of it and get a career. Well, fantastic.
Because the issue I have is that everyone in there knows that they are there to win 50K. Yeah. But it's not about the 50K. It's about the stardom you get after. That's why people go on Love Island. And the majority of in fact, everyone on last season was. No. Well, actually, no. Shanice and Luke T are still together, but yeah, you don't know.
Hang on. I'm just going to do an Alan Partridge. Hang on.
Fair enough. The thing is, right? I just couldn't care less, if I'm honest, about it because, from my perspective, pointless show.
Yeah.
Why? And the thing is, as a Love Island star. You are restricted. You eventually, after a couple of seasons, no one cares.
Yeah.
And you lose followers and your life just becomes a bit pointless. And
yeah, it's true.
I personally just don't care. If I do end up following a Love Island star, unfollow them after a while because I just get bored.
I just couldn't tell you who any of them are. Like,
the only
genuinely,
one I
know
remember is Dr. Alex George,
and well, all right,
he's written a book and everything. But
and female Danny Dyer.
Yeah,
but I actually quite like because I think she's quite nice anyway.
I think she's a really good role model because one of the messages she was portraying was, you don't have to look like the girls on Love Island to be pretty. You don't have to like wear, be naked in the street.
And she's got a positive attitude.
Yeah, she's got a positive attitude.
Always happy, no matter what. I mean, I think her. I mean, I might be wrong, but I think her bloke is about to be sentenced for fraud or something like that.
What?
Yeah,
Jag.
I think so. Not the guy that she was with in Love Island, but she's kind of got back with I think her old boyfriend or something like that. I think, and he's been done for fraud, and she's basically said, they've got a kid together. I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to do this, that, and the other. So, like the fact that she's actually still prepared to sort of stick around.
Sammy Kimmons.
That's the one. But yeah, anyway, I mean, enough of our little rant about celebrity and stuff because we all know what we think about them. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's quickly run through some of the things you can do from next Monday. So
boy, I cannot wait, mate.
I know.
I cannot wait to go back out to inside a pub.
I know, it is nice. And unfortunately, I was going to play a little bit of Whole Lot of Love, like, the Top of the Pops theme, but unfortunately, I can't get the music to play at the minute. So we're going to have to do it. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. Thank you, sir. So, from May 17th, these are the new rules.
You can just turn my mic down a little bit while I
We can do, yeah. There you go. We'll just have it as like sort of background noise. There you go. So, from May 17th, people can meet outdoors in groups of up to 30 people. Huzzah! Groups indoors of 6 or larger or 2 households can meet, which is great. Hospitality can open indoors. Just sounds like you've got really bad wind. So hospitality, this is one that's important to me. Hospitality can open indoors again, but diners and drinkers must remain seated. So it's table service only. Unless you're making noises like that, in which case you need to go to the bathroom. In which case you must be wearing a mask. Exactly.
That's my trumpet impression.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was the noises you make in the bathroom when you go to hospitality. Anyway, indoor entertainment can open, including cinemas, museums, and children's soft play. Sorry, museums as entertainment. Squeeze me? Anyway. Theatres, concert halls, conference centres, and sports stadia can reopen with capacity limits. So this is what we were talking about earlier on. Larger indoor performances and sporting events with a capacity of 1,000 people are
that
allowed.
Excites me.
That's like the
I
crucible.
cannot wait to go and start performing again.
Yeah.
I have not done a singing gig in over a year and a half.
Literally over a year.
Over a year. And I am itching to be on stage again. I really, really cannot wait.
Just to get that all out your system.
Mate, honestly, being on stage is just an addictive feeling.
Yeah.
I performed for the first time 2 weeks ago. And although I was nervous as hell, like all of my performance confidence had gone out the window. You always feel a bit, nervy, especially when you're performing classical music. And it was just brilliant to be back on stage again. It was wonderful.
Well, hopefully. I mean, that would be the start of it, because if you go to an outdoor one, you'll get more people. So you can have outdoor large performances and sporting events will have a maximum capacity of 4,000 people or must be half full, whichever is the lower. Bigger sports stadiums, i.e. the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and that one that's owned by, the scum, Arsenal fans, are allowed 10,000 people or can be only a quarter full, again, whichever is lower. Testing will be used to support these openings. So you all have to do COVID tests, make sure that you are negative, which I think is great. Organised adult sporting events and exercise classes can resume indoors, so you don't have to end up
my gym keeps on sending me emails about
great!
Spin class.
You can go back indoors now and not have to freeze your tuckers
Well,
off.
I've been inside this whole time anyway.
Exactly. So it's not really the point. I mean, I'll be honest. Just before we went into lockdown, I actually did do an outdoor spin class, and my God, never again. Although in fairness, it was November. Saunas and steam rooms can reopen again, which I'm a little bit dubious about, but okay, fair play.
Oh, fair really?
Just because of the
yes,
they're opening back up.
I am dying to sit in a steam room.
I just pray that you don't have to wear a mask in there. Because that could
that'd be stupid.
that could be funny.
That'd be stupid.
Hello, come into this steam room. It's really hard to breathe, but sorry, you got to put on your mask. Travel restrictions are lifted, but people should only travel to the green list countries or amber if they really have to. Hostels, hotels, and B&Bs can fully reopen. Staycations can also take place in groups of up to 6 people or 2 households. Weddings, receptions, and other life events can take place with up to 30 people. And of course, there will be no dancing. I'm so sorry about that, because let's be honest, that's the whole.
Do you know what I want to do, mate? I really want to go to France.
What, to have a wedding out there?
No.
Just to go to France.
No. Because the thing is, right? Me and my family, we used to go on. We'd go to France on summer holidays for like a week or two.
Yeah,
it was always lovely. Although at the time I never really enjoyed it because I was, too young. I couldn't appreciate it.
Yeah,
I couldn't appreciate it. Whereas now I'm thinking I should go out to France. I'm old enough to drink, have a smoke.
You could potentially fly out there soon.
I could potentially fly out there soon.
Don't take a boat though, because you might.
And I shall go to the French Square where we serve, and then I shall order je voudrais un steak s'il vous plaît. And I'll have a sit down in this little square with perhaps a cigarette and wearing some sunglasses and a fedora because I'm in France and nobody can judge me. And
you're just getting your full Heisenberg on then.
I'll lax back in my chair and enjoy a nice steak, chips with some salad and a cigarette, and I shall truly just be at peace with myself, and I shall enjoy the French life.
You should enjoy the life. Is that what?
And then perhaps I may invite a friend out. We shall both sit in the square with our cigarette and sunglasses.
With a chessboard.
Yes, with a chessboard. With a chessboard.
Watching the world go by, just smoke on my gauloise.
Oui.
The little.
It's those little things which I really took for granted or did not appreciate to the full extent at which I should have.
What, smoking a gauloise?
No, just going on holiday.
I know it is.
I've not gotten on a Ryanair or an EasyJet in the longest time now.
In fairness, you're probably not missing much with Ryanair or EasyJet. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry, EasyJet is far superior to Ryanair. I just point out to everyone? I fully support. This is not coming from Revive FM. This is coming from Henry Scott.
Just because they're both.
I fully much more appreciate EasyJet than Ryanair. Ryanair is a terrible airline. I know you're paying £15, so you should expect a terrible service. But I can still pay like 25 quid with EasyJet, and I get a far better service. Like hundreds of pounds better.
I'll pay a little bit extra and get Jet 2, and then they treat you like royalty. It's like, oh, thank you for coming with us. Jet 2, actually.
Do you know how I miss Flybe? Flybe were an excellent airline. It's such a shame they've collapsed.
Stobart
Flybe
was the weirdest one I ever went on.
Oh yeah, because they sort of like could put you in an unmarked jet.
It's
sort of like this weird little plane that you've never been on or never heard of.
Yeah, when you go to Southend Airport, and it's the fact. I'll never forget it. I went to Dublin with my mum, and it's a plane that's got propellers. It's no jets. And the thing that made me laugh was when it went to turn, because it can turn on, because obviously it's Southend Victoria. It turns on the same runway. So it turns on the same runway, it does the distance, right? But the bit that made me laugh was when it turned, the walls leaned. I'm not joking. Huh? So it's like a cigar tube, right?
Yeah.
And I'll make this quick because we have to get the others. But as it went to turn round on that same runway without taxiing or anything like that, the walls leaned over like that. So it was like, like when you put like a cardboard box together.
I'm not sure that's supposed to happen, mate. I'm really
sorry. I know, it freaked me out. And I'm
pretty sure that aircraft should be checked out.
But it was really unnerving. I went, Mum, I said, the walls are starting to rock. And she went, what do you mean? And I went, because I'm not the best flyer. And it was just, you could just see
might have just been your little bit of
no. I promise you, it was the walls actually leaned like that. Not a lot. All right, my fingers are making it more than it actually was.
All right,
but they did lean. It did freak me out. And
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I mean, that was one time where I actually would have liked a Ryanair fanfare at the end just for making that 45.
Now I've got a good transition for you into our next ad.
Oh, okay then. We'll finish the rest of these. We'll finish the rest of these in the next bit of the break. But go on. So if you'd like to peruse us or tantalize us with your
Speaking of leaning around and leaning from walls, we're now going to lean in to another ad break. It sounded better in my head. We're now going to transition into another ad break by leaning his hand along the button that makes the ads go. That's terrible. Please do press the button. Press the button. Tom, stop it. Oh, for goodness, right. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Peter.
I'm going to save him. I'm going to save him from going as red and as orange as our microphones by playing these adverts. See you after the break.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can meet up outside in groups of up to 6 or 2 households. Have friends round for a drink in the garden. There you are. doing your bit, keeping a safe distance. When it starts to get dark and a little chilly, and suddenly your lounge looks very warm and inviting. But don't forget, you're much safer in the fresh air because COVID-19 particles are blown away. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
मिनहाज वेलफेयर फाउंडेशन में आपका अतिया जिंदगी की उम्मीद आपकी मदद से मुमकिन हुआ। दुनिया भर में 30 लाख से ज्यादा खवातीन, बुजुर्गों और बच्चों तक साफ पानी की फ्राहमी, मुतासरा इलाकों में हंगामी इमदाद, यतीम और बेसहारा बच्चों की दादरसी। इस साल हम आपके ताउन से और आगे बढ़ना चाहते हैं। अपनी ज़कात, सदकात और खैरात के जरिए इन मंसूबों का हिस्सा बनिए। अभी कॉल कीजिए 0300 3030 777 या हमारी वेबसाइट विजिट करें www.minhajwelfare.org।
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से 1 शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामत दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं।
Waris Food Store, the place to go for all your meat and groceries. We stock thousands of items from fresh fruit and veg to all your favourite Ramadan food products. Based at 420 Hoe Street in Walthamstow, we can deliver anything you need right to your doorstep. Just give us a call on 0208 521 0000 and take advantage of our huge Ramadan offers. Waris Food Stores is now also available on Uber Eats.
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
Looking to get your finances in order? MR Accountants has you covered. We provide a full range of accountancy and taxation services, including annual and management accounts, self-assessment tax returns, VAT, bookkeeping and payroll services. We ensure you're kept up to date with the latest legislation, and our client-focused approach helps us plan your business finances from savings to investments. We are MR Accountants. Visit our website at mraccountants.com or call us on 0203 432 9138.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
Revive FM.
94.0. On the radio.
On your mobile.
And online.
Hello there. You are still with Revive FM 94.0. My name is Tom Hutchinson, and joining me after that little segue to our last break is my amazing co-host.
Shut up. Henry Scott.
In fairness, I did say if you hadn't said it sounded better in my head, I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I mean, I did call Tom some quite rude things.
Oh, yeah.
In a nice way.
Yeah, it was some stuff that, let's be
afterwards.
honest, if I'd have accidentally left the microphone on, we wouldn't be on the air right now.
No,
we would probably be, you know.
So I'm sorry, Tom, but it was all with love, you know.
It was with PTA. right there,
We're always taking the mickey out of each other.
Exactly.
That's what we do. We have fun here.
Exactly. You big.
You big loony.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, I'm really
well,
joking.
let's just leave it at that, shall we?
Right. Well, so we were just discussing some of the things that you can do when you from next week.
I can't believe the government is going to allow casual relations to happen again.
Yes. Yeah, you're allowed to get.
I read that.
You're allowed to get jiggy with it, and it's a shame because I really wish I had a bit of Will Smith right here, right now, because we could only get jiggy with it.
I mean, I think. Yeah, well, I mean, literally, the government has basically said that you can, because we're relaxing social distancing, you can now stay overnight at someone's house, which will be legal. So, what the government has essentially said is that casual sexual intercourse is now allowed to happen.
Do you know what I just thought of? I just thought of a really good share that you need to buy, like right now.
What, Love Honey?
I was going to say Durex.
No, I think they'll be fine, man.
I'm just saying. I think
don't
that
even know if you can invest in Durex.
I don't know. The shares of rubber must go up at least. Like that's what I'm saying.
All right. Okay.
I'm genuinely. I'd say if you can try and have a look at that. We're not giving financial advice. We're not saying to go and invest. In
This is not financial advice.
Yeah, we're not allowed to. But like because Henry for those who don't know, Henry invests in stocks and shares. And
I do dabble. I like the rest of the world.
In stocks and shares, not in other things. We might add, not in casual stuff. But anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. But basically, so I was actually just thinking that.
Wow, we are digging ourselves some deep holes today, Tom.
Yeah, I know we are. I mean, it's a shame we haven't got any adverts for shovels because I think we'd be really good at those right now. But anyway, so getting back to things. So yes, casual relations are allowed to continue. So it does make me laugh though that you are allowed to have casual relations. You are allowed to hug people, but you're not allowed to dance with people at weddings, which I find really odd. I'll tell you what, though, I've got to watch how I say this, but have you seen there's the picture that's going around sort of social media from last night? It's like a mock-up of BBC News, and it's saying the way of hugging whilst not making contact. Because the idea is that it's not a full-on hug, it's an air hug.
You shouldn't hug with face to face. You have to hug in a specific way.
Yeah, it kind of looks like the Undertaker's tombstone pile driver, which I think is quite funny.
Do you know what, Tom? I think something that's been most incredible throughout this entire pandemic has been the fact that if you had told me last year, without any context, that, by the way, next year the government's going to allow you to start hugging again, I was like, what are you on about?
I know. It's like, you're now legally allowed to hug from next year.
Doesn't make any sense, does it?
No, it sounds almost very sort of totalitarian state, doesn't it?
It totally is. Lots of people have been very concerned about their civil liberties and such.
Yeah. It's almost turning a little bit of Black Mirror, isn't it? It's almost like very dystopian kind of outline for the world. But I suppose it's these little things that are helping us along with the great work that the NHS has done. And we thank you very much. It's getting us back to some sort of normality. All right, we're still going to have to wear sort of masks and things for the foreseeable future. And social distancing is, this is the thing. One of the rules was, if I can find it here, people have the choice as to whether they socially distance from close friends or family. But obviously,
I think it's personally time to let the British public decide whether they follow these restrictions or not. Because I think personally,
it's kind of just don't
take the mickey. But I think if you said to people, listen, we're going to trust you, but we are removing said laws on these restrictions.
I mean, in fairness, we did try that last year and look what happened. It kind of shot up.
Yeah, to be honest, I have to be careful here because if somebody searches back far enough, they'll find a literal video of me saying that the government's an idiot to say we trust the British people to be sensible. What? How right was I?
Yeah.
What
were you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. No, but seriously, like they literally said that one of the causes for the second wave being as bad as it was Boris Johnson's cheerful tune.
Yeah.
About Christmas Day and stuff.
Yeah, but I think also, and again, I don't mean this in a horrible taking the proverbial kind of way. I still don't think when we came out of that first lockdown, I still don't think the British public as a whole realised how dangerous and how serious the situation was. We all thought it'll be, we're going into lockdown for a little bit. When we got the whole you must stay at home, I think we thought it was going to be like a couple of weeks, a month at the most.
Yeah,
I remember watching the Tottenham All or Nothing documentary, and because that was filmed as the pandemic hit, and they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to shut the stadiums for like 2 or 3 weeks. We're going to suspend play for a month." 5 months later, then they reopen, and so I think that when we were all encouraged to go do the eat out to help out and stuff. Again, I don't think people quite realised just how serious and how dangerous this was. I mean, as India's proving at the moment. I mean,
I suppose the thing is, we for this whole entire time, I've been, as a young person, I've just not been scared of COVID at all. Whereas for my mum, she has been terrified of getting COVID, and I can't understand it, mate. I'm just not scared of getting this virus.
I think it's
especially now that I'm vaccinated.
Yeah, I think that is. But also, I think that is because I'm not aging myself here, but I think it's because you're young. That's the thing.
Yeah,
when you're young, I was the same. When I was your age, I felt bulletproof. I mean, all right, in fairness, I lived in Hackney. If you could reach 21 back then, you'd actually outlived your life expectancy, and like for Christmas, you got, you didn't get designer bags and jewelry, you got designer stab vests. But like it was before it was all gentrified, for the Olympics and people with beards and
goatees and
tweed.
ponytails and tweed,
and
shuffle.
coffees that were made with like Bavarian yak
coffees that
yak
cost
milk.
£75.
Exactly, yeah. So it was, but
do you know what? There's part of me that even though I wasn't alive for it, life was much more simple when I was like 2.
Do you know what? I'll be honest. I've actually got into. I know you shouldn't say now. I've actually started watching 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps again. And half the stuff you cannot get away with on British telly now. But my God,
do,
it
like,
it took
if
me
I'm
back
honest,
to a better time.
I remember being like 3-4 years old, and I just from what I remember about being 3 and 4, life was just so different to what it is now.
It is,
this to think that when I was born, this did not exist.
Yeah, it's true.
This live streaming didn't exist.
Yeah, we wouldn't have been able to do this. I mean, it was so.
Majority of the equipment in this studio is only existed within the last 20 years.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's
incredible.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you ever watched The World's End, the Simon Pegg Nick Frost film.
No, which one's that about?
That's the one with the aliens.
Yeah, with the John Cleese. And stuff.
And basically they tried to say that the reason why all these technological advancements, I mean, this is not a crackpot theory here. This is literally a plot from a movie, is that it's all alien tech. So spoiler alert, when the aliens eventually get kicked off the planet, they go back to the Dark Ages, and it's kind of like lawless West, and that's the point. But there's no central heating, there's no fires, because all the aliens have come down and actually provided mobile phone technology, Wi-Fi, satellite navigation. It was all them. That's the point of it. So it's funny, like, just to see how much things have moved on in not just in an entertainment sense, but also in a technology sense as well.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like, do you know what? I have to say though, I feel that London was a much more simple place in the 2000s than it was now.
Yeah, it was. And
do you know what I really miss? I miss how relaxed. I feel there's a feeling. I don't know. Maybe it was just because I was a kid and there was this cloud of innocence. But I remember feeling just, when I went out into London, it was just quite chill.
Yeah,
it wasn't so congested.
Yeah, it was weird. I mean, do you know what? This is going to sound really stupid, right? So one of my earliest memories, and one of the things that I always think of if I ever needed like a bit of a pick-me-up, was sitting in my old back garden in Stoke Newington. I'd have been about 3.5, 4 years old. Bright summer's day, and I had on a little paddling pool that my mum had set up for me. And I always remember it was so I couldn't swim in it because we had a concrete back garden that wasn't level. So you had it was almost like not steps, but it was just like ripples where this concrete had been laid so unevenly. And this paddling pool where you couldn't move around in it. So I had to effectively sit in it. It was a big square one because the left leg wasn't strong enough. So as soon as you moved, the left leg would collapse and all the water would pour out. So it was really true. But I remember my mum set me up with a little deck chair, and I couldn't sit still for 5 minutes because I was just bored. But my mum had managed to crack open the kitchen window, put on the radio, and I remember hearing Will Smith and Jazzy Jeff Summertime coming from there. And I'm sitting there with a black currant and lemonade, a pair of sunglasses.
Wow, living the high life.
At like 3 years old.
It's like,
yeah. Oh, here we are. He's pulled out the shades. That's it.
These are yours, right?
They're mine, yeah. So put
prescription.
Put them on.
Oh God, everything does look a bit. Oh,
I know it's a bit trippy, man. But yeah, that's one of my earliest memories, and it always cheers me up. And it's like just to sit there and think that was like 1993, 1994. About 3 or 4 years old.
Born at your time, Tom.
Do you know what? It was nice. It wasn't too bad. It had a lot of stuff. You could get away with a lot more. Like not in.
Well, even then, but you didn't have to worry about climate change. It was easy to buy a house.
Yeah, that was.
I'm thinking like the world that my dad and my mum grew up in was so much easier than it is today. I feel as if there's so much high pressure stakes placed on my generation. Like, you guys have to solve climate change. You guys have to.
In fairness,
fix the ocean crisis.
In fairness, we actually had that back in the 90s. We had Captain Planet. That was Ted Turner trying to save
Yeah, but it didn't really matter, did it?
It took
everyone
him
just sort of
6 years
lived
to do
for it, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a bit odd, but
it was a nicer time. It was a simpler time.
I tell you what,
it was the 90s.
It was the 90s. It was back in the days when you had a song called Firestarter as number one. You could have a rave, and my mum not allowing me to watch the Prodigy video for it because she thought it was going to freak me out. I was like, no, mum, I'm just. And then she heard Keith Flint and heard him speak, and he was so eloquent and so polite and so down to earth. And he actually sounds really nice. I won't say. Don't judge a book by its cover just because he's got green hair horns, But I tell you what, we're going to do I've got one little story what we're going to do here, just speaking about how things have changed. And then we're going to go to the break. And I've got the best coronavirus story for you after the
Even
break.
better than Gwyneth Paltrow breaking down and eating bread.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like some of us break down and crack open a beer. She cracks open a Tiger Balm. I mean, it's just, she goes to
cracks
Greece.
open a loaf of Hovis.
Exactly.
What a breakdown.
I've just got this image of her.
Last year I got depression. Where's your story?
Exactly. I just had this image of her just climbing up a really high hill, and it's just a Hovis advert with Gwyneth Paltrow in it. But anyway, so the Golden Globes. I don't know if you've heard about all this.
Wow. What stupid controversy that everyone in the Hollywood world's getting all freaked out about.
Basically, because of a lack of diversity in the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, which run the Golden Globes, Tom Cruise has handed back his 3 Golden Globes. Yeah, and also
why?
Basically, because I'll read you the full article here. So, NBC. This is what I was actually going to NBC, which is the big American network, who actually also owns Sky. Through Comcast, will not air the Golden Globes in 2022 following criticism over a lack of diversity in the group that organises the awards. So the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, the HFPA, which oversees the TV and film prizes, has faced a backlash in Hollywood after it emerged in February that none of its members are black. Which I find, to be honest, in this day, I still find quite shocking. The association's ethics have also been questioned over alleged discriminatory practices, including apparently accepting inappropriate freebies following a Los Angeles Times investigation. And now NBC, which is the broadcast partner, has decided not to air next year's ceremony. So it says in the statement, quote, "We continue to believe that the HFPA is committed to meaningful reform. However, change of this magnitude takes time and work, and we feel strongly that the HFPA needs time to do it right. As such, the NBC will not air the 2022 Golden Globes. Assuming the organization executes on its plan, we are hopeful that we will be in a position to air the show in January 2023. Tom Cruise has also been confirmed that he has returned his Golden Globes, which he won Best Actor for Born on the 4th of July in 1993, the Best Actor for Jerry Maguire in 1997, and Best Supporting Actor for Magnolia in 2000. This is the other thing I found really interesting. So Scarlett Johansson has also said that she had been subject to, quote, sexist questions and remarks by certain HFPA members.
A long way to go for this industry, isn't there?
Yeah, that bordered on sexual harassment. And also Netflix and Amazon have said that they are not going to be working with them. And the same with Warner Media, which owns HBO and Warner Brothers. They said they will not work with the association. They have promised, the HFPA have promised to address its diversity problem by admitting more black members. So, I mean, yeah, it's things like that you do have to question. One, how did it get like that in the first place? And 2, why has it not moved with the times to get things done? So
that is what is known as institutionalization.
Exactly.
And it takes a lot to break it.
Yeah. I mean,
it's very hard to break, in the institution. And
yeah, but you do feel like as the world moves on, you can't get left behind. I mean, it's like
that's what's happened.
It's just odd though. I mean, it's like when you hear certain people's views and stuff and how things don't change. I mean, I heard something from a couple of colleagues the other day about sort of distant relatives and some of the stuff that they would say, and it makes for actually quite awkward conversation, to be honest with you. So, hopefully they will sort of get things done. I mean, obviously we've got the whole thing with BAFTA and Noel Clarke at the minute, which we're not going to get into because I think it's been covered to death. But we hope that the truth comes out with that as well, and we will go from there. But we are going to, speaking of the truth coming out, I am going to press this button here and you're going to hear some very truthful adverts. And we'll be back with the best COVID story in the world. And as I told you before, I promise it will not suck. Stay tuned to Revive FM. See you in a bit.
Did you know that girls like Noura walk an average of 3 miles every day in search of clean water to support their families? Minhaj Welfare Foundation believes you can end the water crisis by building small and large-scale water projects. Your charity is helping improve the lives of communities living in the poorest regions of the world. However, more needs to be done. Support Water for All. Donate today. Call us now, 0300 3030 777. or visit us on minhajwelfare.org.
अब हर कोई हफ्ते में 2 बार मुफ्त कोविड-19 टेस्ट कर सकता है। आधे घंटे के अंदर नताइज आपके सामने। इससे ये पता चलता है कि आप अपने प्यारों की हिफाजत के लिए जो कर सकते हैं वो कर रहे हैं। आपके दोस्त, आपके साथ काम करने वाले साथी और आपकी जिंदगी में फिर से आगे बढ़ने की ख्वाहिश। अंदाजन 3 में से एक शख्स ऐसा है जिसमें बज़ाहिर कोविड-19 की कोई अलामत दिखाई नहीं देती, मगर अनजाने में वो उसे फैला रहा है। वो आपका कोई दोस्त, रिश्तेदार, काम का साथी या आप खुद भी हो सकते हैं। रैपिड टेस्ट बहुत आसानी से nhs.uk/get-tested से मिल सकते हैं। आइए ये अगला कदम बहुत मोहतात होकर उठाएं।
Let's connect with the Holy Quran. Minhaj Dawah Project distributes the Holy Quran in plain simple English for free. You can donate £3 and sponsor a Quran to a loved one, a neighbour, a colleague or a friend. We distribute Qurans totally free of charge across the whole UK, including in prisons. Please call us now to contribute on 0300 030 1951 or email us on dawah@minhajuk.org.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
Now we're gradually coming out of lockdown. We can get together again outside. Have a picnic for 6 in the park. Separate blankets and lots of space, obviously. But what if another friend walks by? It'd be rude not to invite them over, wouldn't it? The more people you meet, the greater your risk of getting COVID-19. So only meet in groups of up to 6 or 2 households. Let's take this next step safely. Remember, hands, face, space, and fresh air.
Taj Grill invites you to the world of Pakistani cuisine. With every dish prepared to perfection, why not try our sizzling mixed grill, our famous masala fish, or choose from our selection of freshly made curries and allow the Taj Grill experience to speak for itself. Visit us at 72 Ilford Lane or 508 Ilford High Road or call 0208 262 6476. We also offer catering for all your events. Call us for more information.
With over 40 years experience in the industry, Plachette Carpets is the place to go for all your carpets, laminates, linos and wood flooring. We have an established network of suppliers, which means we can offer some of the best prices in town. We offer free estimates, free measurements and now even free fitting. Call us now on 0208 472 8568 or visit us at 157 Plachette Road, Upton Park, London, E13 0QZ.
Revive FM
94.0. On the radio.
on your mobile.
And online.
Hello there. You are listening to Revive FM 94.0. It is the last part of this week's Scott and Hutch show. I am Tom Hutchinson, and joining me in the studio is my amazing co-host
Henry Scott.
There he is. Now, Mr. Scott, as we alluded to earlier on the show.
Yeah. You say you have the best lockdown story.
I have the best. I don't have the best lockdown story. I have the best COVID story.
Right.
Which let's be honest,
better than when the bloke got arrested and sent to jail in the Isle of Man for trying to get to the Isle of Man on a jet ski.
Much better than that. Much better than that.
Much better than a jet ski.
Much better than a jet ski. Right?
I can't believe he thought it would take him 30 minutes.
I know.
It's got to be the best thing. It took him 6 hours.
And
I'm surprised the jet ski didn't run out of fuel.
And the best thing was they split up after that.
Yeah.
I mean,
like what? Such effort.
Yeah, exactly. Just to go and go, do you know what? I don't actually like. Well, I think it was because she got arrested, didn't she? For
yeah, I think she might have been a bit annoyed about that.
Yeah, a little bit of a. Well, she got arrested for assault, I believe. On someone.
okay.
So yeah, but we won't go into that because obviously we don't have the full information. But so obviously you told me you were vaccinated in Walthamstow today. Right?
Yeah, Walthamstow Library, brilliant vaccination centre. To any people in Walthamstow listening, please, keep doing your jobs.
Yeah.
You're doing an excellent one. Like staff are lovely, nurse was lovely, all the volunteers, they're so hardworking.
Brilliant.
You guys are amazing. You're the lifeblood of this community. Please keep doing what you're doing. We really appreciate it.
Well, it's funny you should mention blood, all right? Because this actually goes on to my greatest COVID story, right?
Mhm.
So, I mean, these vaccination centres have popped up everywhere. Like you say, Walthamstow Library. I know that there is one in Romford opposite the West Ham shop. There is, and I can't believe I'm going to say this. There is one that's actually opened up in Romania.
What a COVID what?
A COVID vaccination centre
In
Romania.
In the UK. Like a UK what?
Right. There's Romania. I know
Yeah,
you're starting to
in the
feel the effects,
country.
right? Romania, the country, Eastern Europe,
Yeah.
has opened up one. You'll never guess where. Do you want a hint?
A McDonald's?
No.
Pub?
I'll give you a hint, all right? Because I haven't got the music, so I have to do it myself. Oh,
a church.
Close.
Oh, a crypt. Crematorium?
Close enough. Bran Castle.
What's Bran Castle?
Bran Castle is the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh.
They've actually opened a COVID centre in Dracula's castle.
It would be better if they turn that into a blood donation centre.
Well, this is the funny thing. That would be quite funny. I did tell you this wouldn't suck. Get it? Suck, blood, get it? There you go. So, right. But this is the interesting thing, all right? And I think Dracula here is on a bit of a side hustle, right? Because think about it. Lockdown, no.
Here's you with your
bear
conspiracy
with me,
theories.
right? Bear with me, okay? So obviously, lockdown, can't go out, all right? He can't go out during the daytime anyway, the poor guy, because, let's be honest, he burns really easy. So...
Tom, where is this going?
Right, bear with me. So during the pandemic, obviously, the castle is normally open and it's, it's a big museum. You can go around there. As I say, it's the inspiration for Dracula. But it's now been set up to run vaccinations Friday, Saturday, and Sunday throughout the month of May. You don't need this is where I find it quite interesting. You don't need an appointment.
Oh.
And for everybody who turns up, you get a free ticket to go and see the torture chambers when it reopens again. So now I'm just saying, I mean, this might be for COVID vaccinations, but please come on in, have a look at our lovely torture chambers. What's that? Oh, it's Mrs. Glick. She has a fear of needles. Don't worry. No, it's okay. Just stand back and next thing you know, it's.
Do you know what? I think the best thing out of all of this, out of all of your conspiracy theories, Tom, the best thing so far is that Dracula is real.
I'm just saying that Dracula is real when he started
and not a fictional character.
He started a vaccination centre. That's all I'm saying. But right, so basically, there's no appointment needed, and vaccine recipients also get free entry to the castle's exhibit of 52 medieval torture tools. And they also get, when they go to the castle's website, which is described as a vaccination diploma, hailing their boldness and responsibility. So that's from the Romanian government. I'm probably going to butcher the guy's name, but Alexandru Priescu, who's the marketing director of the castle, which was built in the 14th century, said, quote, "The idea was to show how people got jabbed 500 to 600 years ago in Europe." Well, normally, we believe this through fangs. A 37-year-old energy market developer actually had his jab on Saturday, was rewarded with his vaccine diploma. This is Fernando Orozco. He said, "I was already planning to come to the castle, and just when I thought it was a 2-for-1 special." They're saying that Romania's government have wanted to vaccinate 10 million people by September, but they're facing an uphill battle. And they're saying that the uptake there, they're quite hesitant to actually take the uptake. But so far, they've done about 5.7 million people. But it tickled me, and I thought I've got to say that on the show today. The fact that Dracula could be doing a side hustle. And
it's new supplies of blood since everyone's been indoors.
Exactly. And think about it, presumably if he absorbs that blood, he then gets the vaccine as well. So
he'll be vaccinated.
Exactly. So
good point, Tom. Good biology there.
Thank you very much. So
me and Tom have lots of consumer advice for you. If you suck on someone else's blood who's been vaccinated, then you'll also be vaccinated. But full disclaimer, please don't start sucking people's blood.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I know that we can do, I know there's things that we can do on the 17th of May, and they involve sort of hugging and things like that. But definitely, please, no more sort of.
If you are a vampire, please report yourself to the authorities.
Exactly, yeah, because let's be honest with you, but there was something I was going to say, but it completely went out of my head. But yeah, it basically that's I just thought for a little bit of a story that actually tickled me, that just to say that it's now Dracula's castle is now a thing. But it goes to show you though that as I was actually saying at the start of that, so many places have turned into these vaccination centres. It's great.
Yeah.
I mean, because also that was going to be the thing they were going to use the Nightingale hospitals for, weren't they? They were going to be vaccination centres, but that didn't really work, did it? But I like the idea that we've got sort of sports centres and gyms and stuff like that. I mean, I think my nearest one is actually when I tried to look earlier on. My nearest vaccination centre is actually going to be in Romford, opposite the West Ham shop.
Lovely.
So yeah, well, not really because it's a West Ham shop, and
all right, calm down.
But no, it's great, and it's again going back to what we were saying at the top of the hour, or the start of the show. Sorry, I think the NHS have absolutely nailed it with regards to this vaccine rollout. I mean, I think we are on course. We've got to get. They want to get everybody done by July, wasn't it? I think that was the original target. Last I heard, I think it's about 7.5 million people have had their second jab. Obviously, that's probably going to be near 8 or 9 now, I'd imagine. I dare say I think everybody has got their first vaccination.
Yeah.
So I just think that, again, if this is the NHS that's rolled it out.
Oh, the government was involved in this. It's gone too well.
Yeah.
But sorry, no, that's not my only evidence for this. This has been an NHS planned campaign. The government has had almost nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and maybe that's
apart from all the government has done is procured the vaccines. It's the NHS which has done all the hard work in getting them out there.
And I think it's fantastic. I mean, all right, I know that they're talking about we might have to have like a third booster in the winter.
Fine, I'll take.
Yeah, I mean, if needs be, we do it again. I mean, to be honest with you, I think eventually when this all dies down and we're allowed to go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and all this is blown over. We can actually. I think that this will be the jab that you'll get along with your seasonal flu. I dare say, and you can, and as I say,
apparently we're going to have medication for COVID.
Yeah, I've heard about this. It's like going to be a pill, isn't it? You can take,
but they're also a pill to cure it,
and they're also developing one for nut allergies as well.
Well, that'd be great.
Yeah, which I think
I'm allergic to nuts.
Are you really?
Peanuts.
Now that I didn't know.
Yeah.
See, learn something every day on this show. But honestly,
I mean, considering I ate food at your house the other day,
that is true. But there was actually no nuts. And before you say it, yes, he was part of my bubble. So because I don't really socialise with anyone, so that's fine. And
I tested negative in the morning.
Exactly, and I also did a COVID test because that's the other thing that we do now. Now we've got the test. Actually, I
swab yourself every now and then.
Consider yourself being swabbed.
Okay, it's a new Oliver Twist musical, everyone. Can I just a little before we go?
Yes,
I think this the couple of things we've got to say that we don't want to see in the next couple of years. I think
Love Island.
No. I don't want to see any movies about coronavirus.
Yes,
I don't want to see TV shows that have coronavirus in them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see people's memoirs about coronavirus.
Yep.
We were all there. Shut up.
Memoirs of a COVID. Yeah.
Something like that. I don't want to see any content about 10 years time about the pandemic 10 years on.
Yeah. Which, let's be honest, that will probably happen, especially on certain news channels. Sky News.
Yeah. And the one thing I don't want to happen when I'm 85 years old, if I get to that age, who knows? The one thing I don't want to see happen will be a documentary about, how hard it was. I don't care.
Yeah,
I frankly could not care less.
To be honest with you, I'm the same when it comes to sort of cancer. Like when you watch it on movies and TV shows. Like when I lost my mum, I went to go and watch Creed. All of a sudden, Rocky somehow got cancer.
Yeah.
Again, spoiler alert. But if you haven't watched it by now,
I think everyone can agree on that. Nobody wants to see a COVID movie.
Exactly. Yeah, and don't make it as part of. I mean, for
Grey's Anatomy, they've added COVID in there.
They do it for soap opera. They're doing it for soaps because obviously they've got to be current, haven't they?
Yeah.
So, but obviously, I'll be honest with you quickly. We'll say this, and I'm going to go. I did actually see a quick scene because I don't really watch soap operas, but I did see how they did a scene in Coronation Street. How it's all sort of the cameras are locked off. Someone's sitting on a bench talking to someone who's not there, and then they put them in afterwards, and then to kiss someone, they have to have like a stunt double. Or they have to kiss them through like a pane of perspex or something like that.
Yeah.
That I actually find quite interesting because I think it's good that they can.
I mean, how they've continued soaps during this time, very, very impressive stuff.
Well, they had to shut down Coronation Street a little while ago because I think someone actually did test positive there. But they are so rigorous and they do everything within.
There's a thing I'm working on for our show. So, listeners, hopefully, if you're listening, you should stay tuned for this. But me and Tom, who are here every Tuesday from 5 to 7,
yes.
I'm getting in touch with a bunch of people in the entertainment industry, and I want to talk to them about how they're reopening after being locked away for so long.
That would be great.
So I think that's one of the key things is how our local business is coping and how are like arts industries coping, because
they were the first to close, and
big organizations like National Youth Choir, London Youth Choir, London, like lots of like youth music groups, and a lot of music groups across the UK just haven't been open for years. And a lot of them, there's people at the forefront of this trying to reopen. So I'm going to do my very best to get an interview with these people.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, because I think, like you say, especially as they were, first to close and the last to open.
Yeah,
they have been hit the absolute hardest. I mean, you see things like Jason Manford, like working. Well, originally it was working as Iceland to pay his mortgage off, and even though he does radio and TV and everything else, if he can't do it, he's stuck. But then he ended up sort of volunteering. I was listening on a podcast today to just to help people go to their vaccination appointments and stuff. So it'd be great to hear that, but we will save that for another day, because it is time to end this show. So ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, because there will be more fantastic shows coming up after us. We will be back next week, of course, and hopefully I will be on time, traffic permitting. My name is Tom Hutchinson. He has been
Henry Scott, and we on time. Sorry. Sorry there, mate.
That's 1-1. All right,
That's
1-1. I will get you back next week.
You will get me back.
But we are, we're also going to get back to playing some adverts, because that's the only way I can think of ending the show. See you next week. Stay safe, mask up, and remember, behave next week. And of course, keep the faith. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
If you want to advertise your business on Revive FM, then visit www.revivefm.co.uk. Alternatively, contact our sales team now on 079 44 56 5616. That's 079 44 56 5616.
Turkish Kitchen.